Hi, I'm Lisa Rose, Quiz Queen Festival Director. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians on the land of where I am streaming from, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, and pay my respects to them. Sovereignty was never ceded in Australia. This was and always will be Aboriginal land. Welcome to this interview that I have recorded with the wonderful writer-director Ruth Caudeli from the film Leading Ladies. I'm going to bring her onto the screen. Here she is.
Hi.
Hello. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Good. Now, Ruth Amazing. And I, we met. When did we meet? We met at Frameline, like when was on the right?
I think before the pandemics. I think it was like
it was
2 years ago.
Yeah, maybe like 2019,
yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Which is so that we were there for your second feature that you did, Second Star on the Right. And yes. Obviously you've now had Leading Ladies, and previous to that you had Eva and Candela. So you've had 3 films in what feels like, was it about 5 years or 4 years? It's
4 years. Yeah, I think it was.
I think you could probably argue that you could claim to be the most prolific queer female director that's currently.
I don't know. I think that's a huge title.
I'm going to give you that. You should be having that as your tag down the bottom.
Okay.
But it's so interesting. I always love it when, in programming, when I get a new film from you to consider, because I really admire the stuff that you're doing. And so I want to talk a little bit about your process. How is it that, where do these stories come from?
All of the stories that I made till this day, I think it came from myself, from the people, the queer people around me, from my girlfriends, from my friends. I try to look around me and I'm trying to represent real women, real queer women, because for me there's a lack of I don't know how to say it, but a real representation of queer women, I think. And I'm trying to represent what's around me, to represent myself. So I think that's the starting point, myself.
Yeah, well, that's part of the thing, how I talk about that, that it's such a wonderful and admirable thing that you've now made your 3rd feature in such a short period of time, because it's, as a programmer, it's rare, it's honestly rare to see a queer female director making 1 film, but to make 3 in such a short period of time, or 3 ever, is something to be really admired. And I'm really excited that you're doing it, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of the things that you're doing in the future, which I'm sure you're going to do. So with Leading Ladies, so it's a really interesting film in the way that it is improvised. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about how you go about that process, how much direction because you obviously seem like a director that actors would love, because they get a lot of freedom. So what's your process in what is written on the page to what actually is improvised?
There was a written structure, but the actresses didn't know it. I mean, they just arrived there and discovered what was happening. But in fact, the tough process was with a rehearsing process, because we rehearsed, I think it was 8 months, because we were they were not traditional rehearsals, but we create relationship, and we built relationships between them. We went to public spaces, to restaurants, we went partying and creating the real relationship between them, because some of the actresses knew each other before, but some of them don't. So we try to create that chemistry between them, to knew who each other was for the other one. I mean, who I love the most, who I don't trust, who is my best friend in this group. So we try to create that. We rehearsed that 8 months, and then we arrived to the shooting. We shoot 5 days for each point of view, and they didn't know what was happening. I mean, they just knew that there was this welcoming party for one of them.
Yeah.
And they didn't know what was going to happen. They knew all their secrets, but it was like a real dinner party. You just go there and see what's happening.
Yeah.
And during the shooting, I was like sending them WhatsApp messages, just saying them, okay, now you have to go to the kitchen, or now you have to tell your friend what you've been hiding here, or things like that. And they were discovering all of that in just in the moment, and it was an amazing process.
Yeah. So in terms of, because obviously each character kind of has a secret that kind of gets revealed throughout the film. So did each actress, like, had you told them what that secret was, or was that something that they thought of, or like what happened there?
No, they just like discovered. Well, I was like guiding them during this rehearsal process, but some of their secrets just appeared during these
Yeah,
rehearsals.
right.
And at the end of each rehearsal, we just joked about it, but it was like a therapy session that between one of them and myself, and I was saying, okay, what did you feel? What did you discover? And I was just making notes and using some of their secrets against them sometimes, and like playing with that.
Yeah, right. And so it's told from the different perspectives of each of the characters. So did you just shoot one, like, did you kind of shoot chronologically for the dinner party for one perspective, and then you just started again and did another one?
Yes, we shot 5 days. Each day was one of each perspective, and it was like a long shot. We never stopped. I mean, when we say action, we just shot the entire night without cutting. I mean, it was like 2 or 2.5 hours with non-stopping, and things were like just emerging, and it was so impressive, even for me, because I had a structure. I knew who is the first that it's on the kitchen, who is going to arrive the second, but sometimes things just pop up. I mean, and they knew that there were places in the house that they couldn't like just be there because there were lightning, or there were the crew was there. But sometimes things happened, like one of the microphones ran out of batteries, and she had to just say, I'm going to the bathroom, and in the bathroom changing batteries. It was like a Big Brother experiment.
Yeah, wow. And so was this like what made you decide to do it in this way?
I'm kind of obsessed of something that I don't know how to explain, but like the most truthful experience in front of the camera, but not in a documentary way, just in a fiction feature. And I'm trying to make to have each movie. It's like a step in that direction. When I want to have more of that more truthful moments, more honesty. And I'm always saying, okay, what could be more than we've done before? What else can we do? And I'm trying to experiment with these improvisational processes, and it's just like, I don't know, it was like a organic step of what we've done before.
Yeah. And so I watched the film a while ago, but I'm pretty sure at the end there's like a title card sort of at the end of the film that says that it was improvised. Did you, like, obviously you've chosen to put it at the end. Did you think about putting it at the start?
Yes.
And what made you decide to put it at the end?
At the beginning, it was at the beginning of the post-production process. It was at the beginning of the movie, because I was like referencing John Cassavetes movies that he had this. In fact, it's the same sentence, and I put it at the beginning of the movie. But we started sending to festivals, and we've been in a work in progress festival, and all of the people start saying it's better if you put it at the end, and we start like hearing that opinion a lot. And at the end we decided to change it. I don't know why, but people said it's better to put it at the end, because then you don't suggest people anything. You discover it at the end, so it's better to have it at the end. I don't know
Yeah.
if what's good or not, but we did
I
it.
think it depends. Honestly, I think it depends on the individual. Like, I have a group of people that watch films for me, and some of them were like watching it, and they were like going, "Oh, it's a different, right? It's the same thing. What's happening?" And then they see that at the end, and they're like, "Oh, right! It so makes sense now what I've just watched. The fact that it was improvised, and it made them admire the film even more once they kind of knew that. So yeah, so that's good. So have you done, so Second Star on the Right, that had a little bit of improvisation in it as well?
Yes, it didn't have like a traditional script. It just had like an outline with actions and conversational topics and things like that, but it didn't have like written dialogue. And
Yeah.
it was like a 20-page outline, and we improvised the scenes. I mean, we knew that we have to go to the point A to the point B, but we didn't know how, and we made it that way. But this one, it's they didn't know point A, point B, anything. They didn't know anything about that the night.
Well, you've obviously worked with a lot of the same actors, clearly, like
Mhm.
working with you. Can you talk a little bit about your kind of relationship with your actors, and why it is that they keep coming back for more?
I think it's like we build friendships between us. I don't like to cast in a traditional way. I hate this casting process. I think it's awful. It's dangerous. It's not a good moment for an actress, for an actor,
Yeah.
and I prefer to meet actresses and see if we have some kind of chemistry together, if we see cinema or acting in the same way, and if they are available to play like this, because it's a game at the end. It's just improvising, just like a leap of faith, and see what's going on. And I just found amazing actresses as like Silvia, Ana Maria, Diana, and Marce, and the other Ana Maria. They are always willing to play, so I love them. I like to just make these games with them.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure many an actor is always excited when they, find a creator that they connect with, and that they can, and then, they'd like to act. So the fact that they get to do it so frequently, because you're constantly making stuff, is a good thing. So
I'm trying.
the film itself, like, what is it like that you would like the audience to kind of, like, I don't want to say the message feels a bit like, yeah, but what is the kind of feeling you want people to leave with and like think about?
I would love the audience to just immerse to get involved with the movie, but and to maybe to think around the concept of guilt, because guilt it was like a concept that we were playing around, and different ways of experimenting guilt. And even if you're not experimenting guilt about something, is it guilt as well in another way? And just have them watching the film and see if they have experienced something like this kind of different kind of guilt in their lives.
Yeah, no, guilt
And
is,
also, I would love to tell them that it's we as queer women, we are not perfect. We are making mistakes all the time, and that's okay as well.
yeah, like, yeah, like a lot of the characters that you have in your films, particularly the characters that Sylvia plays, they're very flawed people. Like, they are
Mhm.
always kind of messy, for want of a better word. Like, is that the type of character that you like to create?
Yeah, I don't like perfect characters, that because I think they're not real. And sometimes there was a time in my life that I thought that I had to be perfect, because that's the only like representation that I saw. So it was like very difficult to try to get to be like that, and because it's impossible. So we're trying, and with Sylvia we create together, and we're trying to represent this kind of women that we're not perfect, and it's okay. We don't mind if we're not perfect. In fact, we enjoy not being perfect.
Yeah, it's really interesting that like how have you found like your films be received in, like, have you been able, obviously during the pandemic it's a bit harder, but have you been able to travel very much with them and go to different countries and see the different experience that audience have? Because you know, I find that like I remember being in an audience at Frameline once, and it was for a film from Argentina, which I cannot remember the name of it. I'm forgetting the name of it. But the lead character was, he was very flawed, and someone got up in the Q&A and talked about him being very unlikable. And I thought I was like, yeah, he was really flawed, but I just loved that. And I remember the director being like, American audiences are obsessed with likable lead characters, and that you need, like, people aren't like that, and you need to have real authenticity. So how has kind of, what have you found in your travels of different places? And
I think because we traveled to the US with the movie, and they said some of the characters are quite like the villain of the story, especially the Ana Maria's character, the first perspective of the movie, and they said she's a bad person, but I don't really think so. I mean, she's just human, and we kind of get that because we didn't thought about villains or who is the worst here. I mean, they're just like discovering things and trying to save themselves because they wanted to be happy, as I think we all want. But it's true that we get that a little bit. They said, okay, Ana Maria it's a very bad person. I said, I don't think so, but I don't know. It's just opinions, and we got that as well in Spain.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, I'll let you know if that happens in Australia.
Okay.
So where did you get the filmmaking bug? Like, from what age did you like, this is what I want to do with my life?
I think it's something that was always there. I remember a special moment, but it doesn't have to do anything with the movies that I'm making today. But I was like watching Jurassic Park at the cinema when I was little, and I said, "Wow, that's amazing! I don't know how to do that, but I want to do something related with that." And now I'm realizing that I don't need dinosaurs or things like that in my movies, but I think it was always there. And since, I don't know, like 6 or 7 years ago, I realized that I can't do anything else. I mean, I'm trying to stop a little bit, but I can't, because I made a promise to myself, and I said I have to do like at least one feature each year. And
that's crazy. I'm just saying that's crazy.
I couldn't do it because of the pandemics. It was like a thing that I couldn't do, but it's a thing that I need to do. And the story, when I have a story, I have to tell it. I can't wait.
So then how do you go about like funding your films? Because obviously making films is expensive. I imagine obviously you're not going to have a Jurassic Park budget.
No.
And you don't need one for the films. No. So what is it? How do you do it? Like, for those people who want to go and make this type of things, what are your kind of tips of what to do?
I think if you have something that you need to tell, you can do it. It doesn't matter how, but because there are different ways to do it. For instance, Second Star on the Right, the other movie, we made it with the support of the university that I'm working. This one, and this one as well, Little Ladies 2. And we have the support of the university, and we have like reduced crews, reduced budgets, and we're trying to find people that wants to tell this story too. I mean, people who also needs to create, people who are working maybe in advertisement or TV, where sometimes you're not telling the stories you really want to tell, and you need like to feed your soul. And we create this small group of people that are like part of the movie. We split the movie in numbers and said, okay, it depends on the role you play in each part of the process. You have a percentage of the incomes of the
Right.
movie, and we split the like the I don't know how to say it, but we split the movie, and
Mhm.
all the crew and cast, we are all like it's our movie.
Yeah.
It's not a good way to say it. It's because it's true. It's true. It's our movie because
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
have a
You're
part
all.
of it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. Um, so how many more stories do you think you have in you? Do you think you're just gonna this 1 year a thing? Are you how many more years do you think you can do it?
I don't know. I don't I don't know, but nowadays I have a new feature. It's called Petit Mal, which is going to premiere this year.
Hmm.
We hope at the yeah, this year, and we
Yep.
are shooting because we shot it on last year in September, and now we are just finishing some details, and we have good news about it because we already have distribution, and we're having good news that we can tell soon. And
That's
we are shooting a new feature, I think, in the second semester of the year, which is quite different from what we've done before because it's a sci-fi queer movie.
oh my god! Yeah, that's
And
like there's your Jurassic Park budget right there. The
not Jurassic Park, but we have a little more budget for
but
this
that's
movie.
exciting because that is genre films like in in a queer festival they just don't like in sci-fi films in particular they don't get made very often, so that's exciting. And are you excited about really stepping into a different kind of genre?
I don't I don't know. I'm afraid. In fact, I'm scared because it's we have like our first meeting like in I think it was last week, and I was trembling, but I was trying to be cool and everything it's okay,
Yeah.
but it's quite different from what I've done before, and it has very different challenges, and I'm scared to death, but I love that feeling. I
Yeah.
love that feeling.
And so would that be have improvisation in it as well, or would that be a
No,
bit more structured?
this one has like a traditional script.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's yeah. No, I can see because that is a bit of a departure, obviously, from what you're doing. But I'm sure you will. I was going to say some stupid expression that doesn't make sense. I'm sure you will. It's what is it? Duck to water. Take to it like a duck to water. That's the expression. Yeah. So I want to thank you so much for joining me to talk. It's been fascinating. And I'm a real admirer of your work. And I look forward to watching. It sounds like you're going to have 2 films coming out very soon. So I look forward to it.
Let's hope. Let's hope so. And thank you for having me. I love queer screen. I mean, I would love to travel there, and
Well,
let's.
it's a very long flight.
Yeah, but I'm like dreaming to be there.
Well, you should come next year because it'll be World Pride for our festival next year. So
Wow.
pencil it in, put it in your calendar to.
If I made myself the promise, I'll be there.
Thank you so much, Ruth. Leading Ladies is screening in cinema and also on demand, and it is available until March the 3rd. So please check it out if you haven't
And
already.
it's my birthday, March.
Is it your birthday on March? Oh, well,
Yes.
happy birthday to you. Save it up and watch it as your final film in the festival. Thank you, Ruth.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you.